chashiv. Like what the Mechaber said, Eranu chashiv, even though he has a Medura, he never uses the light of a Medura, right? But again, we don't understand exactly what that means. That he never, since he doesn't use the light of a Medura, therefore he does need a Ner Acher. But let's look at the Bir Halacha here. He's going to teach us a little bit more about the whole general situation. Okay? Everyone have the Bir Halacha there. It's the about 20 lines up from the bottom of the column of the Bir Halacha there. Right? The Divra Maskas Tzurek Ner Acher. You need another Ner, Lishtamish La'oru, to be able to use the light of the, which light? I'm not sure. And not only that, to tell you the truth, if you want to be medactic, you see that the Divra Maskel Mishtabura Tzurek Ner Acher Lishtamish La'ora. That's a mapik hey at the end of the word La'oira. Right? Is that a quote of the Mechaber? Take a look at the words in the Mechaber. V'tzurek ner achel ishtamish la'oiroi. See that, Amram? What's going on here? We make our own changes we make our own textual changes in the Mechaber. What's the difference between oiroi and oiro?
His and it.
And it.
Right?
Okay.
No?
I guess. I'm getting even more confused now. What are we talking about here? I had to, before a minute ago, I just had to figure out the Mechaber. Now I have to figure out the Mishna Berura. And it's a different. I didn't even get started with the Berura. Like I just got a Ramaskil.
Maybe Ner can be used in Nekiva and Nekiva and masculine.
Could be. I mean, I guess we could check it out. But okay, even if it is, why change the lashon? Right. To tell you the truth, if we see here, everyone go back to the Mechaber again. You see where the Chavdalit is. There's a little star and there's a little ches. So the star, the Chavdalit is, we know that's the reference to the Mishna Berura. That's Sifkat and Chavdalit in the Mishna Berura. The little star there, that's a reference to Bir Halacha. Okay? Now, what's that little ches? That you go over to your extreme upper left-hand corner. That's the Bir Hagoyla, right? That tells you where the source of the halacha. So this is you see the ches there. It says Meimra the Rava Sham. It's a statement of Rava Sham, right? So that means Sham. You have to. I was taught once by a person who had apparently looked into it. So historically, why do you see Shim Mem Sham? You said it all over. Why did it? When typesetting was done by hand with lead or whatever it was, even more primitive things. So the individual letters. The individual letters. They had a limited amount. So if you put brachas, you have to have a lot of typeset. Called the typeset. You have to have a lot of typesets. So what they did was they made a lot of shin mems, right? And the shin mems just means la'el, meaning you're going back one more. But now you'll see it says so. Ches is meimer the Rava Sham. So where's that? Sham bebraisa over there. So it's there in the brisa. Where's that? There. Right, so you jump back from Zion to Vav. So Bryce Sham Chaf Aleph. It's a Bryce Sham in Chaf Aleph. Where's the Chaf Aleph? We don't know yet. Ubeperish b'tosef Sham. Okay, so you have to go from Vav. You have to turn back the page. Where's the previous one? Hey. Hey takes you back to Maimer the Rav Sham. So you're still jumping back. Right, Dalit is Maimer the Rav Huna Sham Chav Gimel. But what Gemara are we learning? Where's the Gemara? Where is it? Where is it? Right? So you keep jumping back and back and back until you try and find yourself a Gemara. I'll tell you, it's probably Shabbos, because that's where most of these sugyas are. If we go back all the way to Beis, I think that's the first time in the Bir Golden Beis, it says, Bryce Shabbos Chaf Aleph, Uka Beis Hillel. Right? So finally you get back there, right? You get back to the source, and it happens to be a Gemara in Shabbos, right? Gemara in Shabbos, and as we're talking here, it's the Sham, which is Chaf Aleph, also. So, if you don't mind, I want to take a Gemara in Shabbos. and or Rambam, if you want to look it up, we'll do it together. Okay.
I'm going to bring it to you.
Let's see what the Gemara says. Okay? Because, thank you for Aleph. Now, it didn't say Amid Aleph or Amid Beis, but I'll tell you, there's a way, at least in the old Gemaras, I don't know what they do with the new Gemaras. New Gemaras
Yes,
changed.
I'm a mess here.
Oh, it does say? Okay, that's over there, Amid Beis. Let's try there first, thank you. So, Chaf Aleph Amid Beis.
It's narrowed. The plural is narrowed. So maybe he uses the feminine masculine words.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know.
Oh. So here, it happens to be on Chaf Aleph Amid Beis, Amarava, Tzorech Nia Acheris, Lishtamish Lo'oro, with the hay. With the hay. So where the Mechaber got the Vav, I don't know, right? But the Bir Locha, there's the Ramaskel is using the gears, so it could be different gears in the Gemara. There's a Bir Hagra here, one moment. What is the Vilna going on here? Don't know. Okay, so Ner Acheris. So Rashi says Ner Acheris Lasos Heker Ladabra, which is like the Mishna Berura. You'd be very surprised. Many times the Mishna Berura is basically straight from Rashi's or Gemara's or other in Rishonim. It's not, in general, the Mishna Berura is not mechadish so much. He's just bringing down things as a commentary to help us understand it's called a perush, it's called an explanation. And the explanation is really a pre-existing explanation, is what he's bringing it down, for us. E equal in Medura, okay. Okay, good. So the Bir Locha is apparently going like the gears that we have in our somewhat standard Vilna edition of the Shas, and but we can see there may be other editions, other ways to check this. So you see this expression, how it's usually the Torah is going to bring this expression down. See if the Torah had a different gear. So okay, but we're not Torah begirsa. There's an expression in Shas that the Talmidei Chachamim of the time of Gemara, they would use in Torah begirsa. It would be Torah. Torah means to be very occupied, preoccupied. They're preoccupied, very begirsos in the texts. They're preoccupied in the text. They're understanding the actual text, because everything is based on the words, right? You only develop ideas after you've understood the words. Once you understand the words, then you can develop ideas. But all the ideas are basically grounded in the text. Whatever happens to be, Shulchan Aruch, Tanakh, Gemara, Mishnayos, Rishonim. Okay, so if I have time, I'll try and get to the bottom of the difference in girsus between the Mechaber or Roy and Ora in the Ramaskel of the Mishnah Berura. Okay, let's see the Bir Locha. Okay, so if you have, you'll need to have another nair to use the light. It's like the light, right? The light of what? We don't know exactly. Okay, Perish Rashi, go ahead. Who would like to read the Bir Locha? Any volunteers? Amram or Rachmin? You had the Mishra, you had the Mishra today. You had the Mishra. Okay, after you.
Nir Acher להשתמש להוראה. פירש רש"י, משום הקרע.
Which is like the Mishnah Berura brought down, right? You should have a heker. Okay. Now what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah. Oh.
רצון לומר, is to say, שאפילו אם לא ירצה כלל להשתמש להוראה, even if he doesn't want to use the light of the candle, מכל מקום צריך נר אחר שיהיה היכולת בידו, he'll have the ability in his hand to להשתמש להוראה, to use it if he wants to.
Okay, let's
even
think.
If he doesn't.
Okay, let's think about this. What does it mean? Afilu im lo yirtze klal ishtamis l'ora. Let's say he doesn't want to use the light, right, at all. right? Nevertheless, tzurach ner acher, you need an additional candle, sheyeh yocheles biyado l'shtamis lo, in order that you should have the ability to use the light. Clear? Okay.
Okay. To use a lot.
You have to have the ability to use the light.
It
Meaning,
has to be there. If you want to use it, it has to be there.
right.
Even if you don't use
Even if you don't, you're not intending. Meaning, or I'm lighting this menorah for the sake of the mitzvah. This haneres haim kodesh haim, right? Also l'shtamish for them. You can't use them, right? I'm lighting this menorah absolutely, completely, entirely for the sake of the mitzvah. Nevertheless, right? I need another ner there in case I want to use it. I could use it. That's what the Mishna and Berura is saying so far. Correct? Okay.
By this fact, it is recognizable that the Shanir is shown, who the Shem Mitzvah, that the first Shanir is shown, the first candle, who the Shem Mitzvah, it is a used for mitzvah.
Okay, so how do we understand this? Through this second nair being lit, it's making it apparent, obvious, that the first candle that was lit because of the sake of a mitzvah. Because if I just wanted to use the light, I would light one nair, right? And I have to check. I have somewhere in my head that a person shouldn't read by one candle. You should have two candles burning when you read. In Yonim, right? I don't know if it's usher, right? But if that's the case, if it's true, Bichlal, I don't know, I have to check it out, then it'll make a difference the first night, the second night, whatever. But we're saying over here right now that even if you don't want to use the nair at all, nevertheless, you have to have another nair lit, the second nair lit, in order that if you do change your mind and want to use it, you can use it. Because why? Because by lighting the second nair, the second light being lit is a gilui, it's a revelation on what I'm doing originally. Why am I lighting a second light? Right? Because obviously the first light is a mitzvah light, and I can't use that mitzvah light. So if I want to use light in this room, I have to have another light in this room. Go ahead, what's going on here?
You guys, they lose the shamas.
Yeah.
They light the shamas first, light the other candles, and then put it back. So it's the first light is not the menorah light.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
This hit first light.
No, that's
it.
The Mishna Berura said.
That's what I'm saying. That just
Yeah.
brings down the first light.
Yeah.
So the first light, if you use the shamas as a lighting,
Yeah.
then that's not the first light because you're going to put the shamas back, and that's your second light.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference.
We'll have to see. It's not so simple. To tell you the truth, not so. We have to see when we get to that halacha, we'll have to see what the Mechaber writes and what the Ramah writes and what keep that in mind. That's going to be a very delicate point. Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, by lighting the second light, right, it's relevation, an indication that the first light was lit l'shem mitzvah. Okay, let's continue.
Because it's standing on the table, they will say, it's a kohilika, for their own purpose, for their own sake, they lighted it.
Because if you don't have that second light lit, then since it's standing on the shulchan, people will say, why is it this nair burning on the table? Because he's using it for his purposes of eating, reading, right, learning, whatever he might be doing, right? So first of all, this answers one of the questions when we learned in the Mechaber, what is going on? That's apparently only talking about if it's on the inside on the table, right? Apparently, if it's on the outside, right? Where no one sits. Maybe in our days now people sit on their front porch, but even now, people do things on the inside. No one's using light on the outside. Apparently, if you're lighting on the outside, you don't need a shamish. Is that you like that on Mordechai? Is that a good idea? What do if you're lighting on the outside, but Pesach Habayis by the Rosh Hashanah, you have to have a shamish. Or only a shamish if you're lighting on the inside, al shulchan. What's logical? What's logical? It seems logical to me that if it's and the Mishna seems to confirm it. Only if you're lighting on the table, that's when you need to have a shamish to show that the light that you lit just now was a light. Originally, the first light you lit was originally lit for the sake of a mitzvah. Therefore, you're lighting another candle to, if you want, to be able to use the light. But if you're going to be in the Shusarabim where people don't use the light, probably, most likely, then you most likely don't need any shamish at all.
That may be today. But in those days, there was no street lamps.
Yeah.
And that was a lamp. So if you didn't have a shamus there, they were going to use the Chanukah lamp.
But it could be, right, correct, 100%. However, but no one goes out and lights lights. No one lights lights on the Rosh Hashanah by Pesach Beisai.
Today.
No. Then in those, let's try and go back.
He said, he said in the beginning of the thing,
right.
So that was outside in the street.
Right.
Okay, so they didn't have lights. So this is the light that's going to give people light, unless they carry on light.
That was on a door. On the
house.
But people know they're not walking by the house.
Of course they're walking.
They're walking in the main street. It's far away from the house.
No, they mentioned it's in a house. It says Rosh Hashanah. It has to be in Rosh Hashanah because that's when people have to see it. If you're in
they can see from far away. They don't have to be so close.
No, you're true enough. But they lit by the Pesach Habayis. They lit by with the courtyard with the Pesach Habayis. Right. But I would guess. Again, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I would guess that no one lit any lights on the outside. It's not wasted time and money and oil. Why
did they do it outside?
No one lit anything. The only time you lit, when you lit a light on the outside, everyone knew it was a mitzvah.
Right, but I'm saying the people who are walking in the street are using that light to get around. That's what I'm saying.
Fine.
So if you don't put a shamus, they're using the light of the menorah.
True.
So if you put a shamus, you don't have a problem outside. So you're saying that we don't have to put one outside, but I'm saying different. I'm saying that if people walking in the street are going to use that menorah lamp, if you don't have a shamus, they're using the light of the menorah itself. No, or it doesn't count if it's somebody else.
That could be a point. If it's somebody else, it could be a point.
Okay.
Number one, it could be a point. Number two, maybe what's the yesod? What's the essence of the isur? And there is how kodesh haim. Right. Why is it also to mishtamish with the or of the menorah, of the Hanukkah menorah? Why is that? Is that because the etzim there's a kedusha here, like you can't use it if you makdish a cow for the base of mikdash, you over meal if you use that cow, right? Something is it like an iser hana?
The zecher the menorah shall Beit Mikdash.
Right. Okay.
Which is forbidden to use its own.
Very good.
So this is in place of it, so you can't use it because of that.
Right. So if that was the case, why do you need why does the menorah help?
Because that light mixes with this light, and it's letting it.
So we'll try and get into. We'll maybe understand that. Fine, maybe that. However, if it's a heker, right? If it's a heker, we need to show, right, that this is a ner shel mitzvah. What's the shamish for? Is the shamish a matir, meaning it permits you to use the ner, or apparently what we're saying here, it's a heker. It's a heker to show what you did, what you lit originally was a ner shel mitzvah. So if it's a matir, right? So in the Shusarabim, right? So maybe some people will come and use it. Maybe whether you have to be choshish for the miyat, I don't know. But let's say you do. So, so according to that way of understanding, you need a shamish, right? If it's simply a heker to show that it's a ner shel mitzvah. Well, if no one puts neros on the doorposts, right?
Yes.
Except once a year during Hanukkah, I don't need a heker. Everybody knows why I'm lighting out by the Pesach Habayis.
Right.
So it depends on what the real reason of the shamish is.
Okay.
And that will maybe even go back further, what the real isser is in using the light of the menorah. Okay, we have another 10 days or so maybe to try and work it out before Hanukkah. We'll continue Mitzvah Shem tomorrow.
What's the Indian collecting a Chanukah?
Excuse me?
What's the Indian collecting a Chanukah?
It's a big mitzvah. The Mishnah Berurah brings it down. You must. Sorry.
Where Mishnah Berurah take it down?
Where? That is the Mishnah Berurah here in Tav Reish Ayin. You have it there? Tav Reish Ayin. Go back a page or two.
Yeah.
Tav Reish Ayin, 1 minute. Here, at the end of Sivkot and Aleph. You have it there, the very
Yeah.
It says here, right? ובני שיש ימי שמחה והלל, לכן עשו בהם הספיריטאים, ונוהגים העניים לסבב החנוכה על כוסיהם, ויש טעם לזה. And the minute of the poor people was to go around collecting from door to door on Hanukkah, and there's a reason for this.
Yes, which Mechaber is this?
Mechaber in Reish, Tav Reish Ayin, Sivkot and Aleph.
Oh, Matsuri and Asus Melacha.
Right.
Well, don't say about the Niyam. I don't see about the Niyam.
Yeah, the very last line of Mishnah Berurah. Noigin ha'aniyim l'savei b'Hanukkah al Pesachim. Have it there, the Mishnah Berurah in the Sharat Zion, Gimel, Sivkot Gimel in the Sharat Zion brings down Magen Abraham. Take a look at the Magen Abraham in Shulchan Aruch.
Okay. Alright, done.
Good? Okay.
Which Mishnah Berurah is it, the Nagin Aniyim? Mishnah Berurah what?
Come over here, I'll show it to you. Amen.
There it is.
The last line in the Sivkot now.
Uh-huh.
The Pri Megadim, you look at the Magen Abraham and then the Pri Megadim, you look there, explains it. Yeah.
But first, is common sense in the Torah? Common sense.
Yeah, of course. The Torah is full of common sense. Continue in a few minutes.
So I should do the half an hour collecting before I come home?
That's a good question. You're
With
gonna
my
be coming.
wife. With my wife.
Show the Mishnah Berurah. Right?